Okay, so the main thing about this film is that the main thing is not really about the editing or the sound, because critics as well as my fellow teammates feel that the best thing about this film is actually the cinematography and the mise en scène. So I'll be elaborating more on the acting as well as the cinematography. Okay, so the acting. Interesting enough, the acting was actually very theatrical, very exaggerated. Yet, amongst the backdrop, it remains very natural. Okay, so yeah, the acting was very careful, very planned, and very deliberate. There's a reason why they're acting this way, and there's a reason why they're dressed this way, and there's a reason why their expressions are very exaggerated. So I will take two characters who are the two main antagonists in a way of the film. So interesting enough, the Caesar and Dr. Caligari are actually very opposites of each other in terms of acting. Caesar is actually dressed in black and tall, and he likes to limp a lot. His acting is very slow, deliberate, and compared to Dr. Caligari, who's the direct opposite, he stands out a lot more, and his actions are more dynamic. So in a way, if you look at it, there's a reason why they're like that, because Caesar is actually supposed to look like he's blending into the background as one of the shadows, while Dr. Caligari is supposed to be more animated.
The thing is that, like in these German expressionist films, right? Like nearly, nearly everything, right, has an important value. So like Robert Wagner, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, even when it came to the actors, Chinaman correcting my English. Um, anyway, I was saying like Caesar's movements, right? It's like very, very slow and deliberate. And apparently the reason why the director wanted it was to showcase inner turmoil. So like one thing when you guys watch the film is like nearly everything in the film has like an additional value more than, yeah.
Yep, there's a motivation behind every acting, so it actually plays an important role towards the cinematography itself, because the actors themselves personify the frame. Okay, the next thing is cinematography and mise en scène, okay, which is the main segment of the film itself. Okay, so this is a very classic German expressionism movement film, and it's the first film to edit to frame the illicit emotions from the audience, and it's the paintings, well, the set design itself was actually inspired by this painter called Alfred Kubin, and the set designers felt that his paintings were very surrealistic for reasons that you'll find out in the film lah. And also, the interesting enough, the sets were actually painted, so they feel two-dimensional. However, the actors themselves are very three-dimensional. So it sets the characters in a world of surrealism as well as a film of uncertainty as well. So the set design and environment include things like trees, walls, paintings, staircase, and all that. You realize in the film that all these are never flat like that. They're all diagonals, and very, very sharp diagonals as well. And there's a reason for this. It's also to convey a sense of danger and uncertainty. Ooh. So, like I previously mentioned, the costumes themselves are very deliberate and very purposeful. Because if you, like I've mentioned, Caesar himself, he's supposed to look like a shadow in the film, and he's very tall and very slender. And as you can see here, he looks like one of those silhouettes, but it's actually him himself in proper lighting. And if you notice in the film as well, there's also police officers. Their mustache kind of like this. So it kind of makes them look like ants, because they behave like ants as well. Yeah, most of it, if you notice lah, later on. Okay, the key thing in this film is also the motifs and symbolisms. Okay, a bit of spoiler lah, sorry, but it's necessary for me to explain this. Okay, in part of the movie, there's this scene where Ellen dies. Who is Ellen? You'll find out later lah. And in this scene, they had a play with shadows, so they had a lighting, and then Ellen was going to kill him lah. Which the scene. Oh, Caesar was going to kill Ellen, sorry. Which the scene will come on and explain later, but I'll just touch on a bit first. Because Caesar killed Ellen with a dagger, and they didn't show the very morbid scene of the whole part, so they showed you shadows. And in this, and as you can see, like I mentioned before, Caesar's supposed to look like a shadow, and it's sort of like a mirror of the film. And as you notice itself in the film, the branches also look a bit like daggers, so it's sort of to mirror the scene as well. Okay, Faraz will take over.
I'll do it first.
Oh, okay.
Move first, huh? Okay, like basically what I'm going to talk about is like the importance and influence on film, but more about the influence on film. What you guys like when you guys watch the film later on, right? You'll be like, what the fuck? You'll be like, be like, because what I'm trying to say is like, you won't think that this film has such a big influence on films today, but it does. Like basic to start with, right? This was one of the first classics of German expressionists, the German expressionist movement. This along with Nosferatu, and this film introduced the idea of motifs and symbols, and even like directors that you guys admire, like Hitchcock. When Hitchcock was working in Germany when this film got released, and he was a major fan of this film, and I guess that's where he got the idea of using like heavy motifs in his film. Like we watched Psycho last year and we saw a number of motifs in the film. It was because of this film that people even realized that you can have motifs, you can have symbols in your film. That your film can mean something more than just telling a story or talking about a certain character. And actually a bit about the history as well is that when the director was making this film, right, he was interested in the idea that because at that point cinema was just merry entertainment. It was like just cinema was still pretty new at the time. One of the main aims he had when he wanted to make this film was he wanted to elevate cinema as a to become an art. So I feel that this film has achieved it. And then the second thing is that um, yeah, because this German expressionist is like before Hitler, right? So what happened was a lot of these directors, when Hitler came, they all migrated to Hollywood. And the thing is, the big director is Fritz Lang. When Fritz Lang went to Hollywood, he introduced an entire genre called film noir, and he also directed major classics in the film noir genre. And if you're talking about current directors today, the biggest influence, the uh, the biggest director who borrows from German expressionist movement would have to be Tim Burton. Most of you would probably have seen Edward Scissorhands, and like Issa mentioned, Caesar has like a strange resemblance to Edward Scissorhands in terms of like the outfit he's wearing, the makeup. It's actually really similar. So yeah, even though and I think an important thing to note is that these guys really push cinema, from like merry entertainment to art, and we can do the same too. Shut up.
So basically, what Fendi was talking about just now was this shadow. As you can see, that guy there is Alan. Even if you can even see, yeah, he's actually killing Alan, and then the dagger is not shown here, but then when he raises his hand later, you can see. And then behind there's a high chair right there. The high chair is supposed to like symbolize like the hierarchy system in Germany, so like the powers and everything. Yeah, and then yeah, as Fendi also said just now, the cast performances were all very exaggerated and elaborated to express the extent of horror. And then many close-up shots were also used to express the characters' emotional angst, turmoil, and fear. There you can see that one. There's a dagger down there. And then the second picture here, you see like a circular shot. It's actually called like a iris shot, so it's like a transition instead of like dissolve this kind of thing. To use iris shot. It's basically like a POV perspective of the viewers. And then because this one, the theme is mainly around like carnivals, magicians, and everything like that. What do you call it? The iris shot, which closes and opens like an eye, is actually like a organ grinder. So you play the organ, there's a grinder thingy. Yeah. And then the merry-go-round later, which you will see in like the carnival shot, it's actually, it doesn't stop moving at all. It's actually supposed to symbolize a sign of chaos after the World War One, the chaotic situation in Germany after World War One. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and then Fendi also said the buildings, they are all not like straight and flat. They are basically like most of it or all of it is actually slanted or canted, which symbolizes fear and psychological horror in Germany during that period, during that chaotic situation in Germany in World War One. Yeah.
Do you want us to talk about this as well, or do you want to just play the film?
No, they can read it. It's fine. They can read it in your wiki.
Oh, maybe the wiki so don't need.
No need, no need.
Okay. Then that is all.
Okay, thank
Yay,
you.
citations.